What's up, Lou? You good?
Yeah, we're good. Hey, everybody.
Lou, how are you?
I'm good, Bethany. How are you? It's good to see you again.
Feeling good. Like 3 days after my birthday.
I was just going to say to you, happy birthday. How you been enjoying yourself? Well, I hope you've been having a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bethany Pickens, of course. You know that.
Everybody.
And this is the 51st annual Festival of the Arts Glen Ellyn. Usually this is a festival that takes place over this weekend, and it's live on a lawn by a lake in the suburb of Glen Ellyn, which I've live painted for many a year. This year it is virtual. So it's right here. There's actually artists to go see. If you want to go to downtownglenellyn.com, you can see some of the visual artists that have set up tents, and you can buy their work. For my portion of it here, for tonight and tomorrow night, I'll be going live, and I'm having some amazing people here with me. And first up here, amazingly, is as I was saying last night, the blessed winged creature known as Bethany Pickens, and she's going to be playing, and I'm going to be digitally painting. Bethany, how are you?
Man, I'm great. I just want to tell you my connection to Glen Ellyn. If I even have, I actually have two connections to it.
Please do.
We'll start with the first one.
Okay.
When I was an undergrad at the American Conservatory of Music, my best friend lived in Glen Ellyn. She was a violinist by the name of Leslie Buell. She later changed to viola and finished up at IU and played for the Seattle Symphony for several years.
Wow.
And so I remember going to her place in Glen Ellyn. Glen Ellyn is also kind of like the area of College du DuPage, where my uncle went to junior college there. And also, as a member of the Chicago Children's Choir, some people try to say they were our rivals. Not really, but anyway, they had another children's choir in the community. I was a member of the Chicago Children's Choir, CCC, currently under the direction of the great Josephine Lee. And a lot of history there. But that's my connection to Glen Ellyn. Unfortunately, I've never played this festival, and now I'm feeling like I'm playing it today with you.
Yes, that's what's happening. This is exactly what's happening. And if I have anything to say, we'll get you out there next year.
Yeah, Roger Rupert, my homie from American Conservatory, great trumpet player. Yeah, I was familiar with this whole thing I'm talking about. Yeah, Roger Rupert. Yeah. So what are we doing? Sorry for the background. There's a chime's going to go on every time, courtesy of Bethany Pickens.
That's okay. I'm a fan of the chimes. It reminds me of where I am.
Awesome.
I always liked it I live places where I guess, it's kind of sort of a common thing. At 10 a.m. on Tuesday, they play the chimes. Just in case you don't know where you are. You're like, oh, it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. But what we're going to do here, Bethany, is we're going to do what we do, what I like to do in my traditional jazz current style, is listen intently to what you do and interpret it visually.
And you know what? I noticed that we did that last time, and actually you obviously did it before. What the first time we met was because you were at the concert. Let me see where you start your first initial strike onto the canvas, and then that help me start.
Okay, we can do that.
I'm looking at you. That's why I need to see you.
Okay, it's telling me, it's giving me a little business about my internet connection, but we're going to keep on going. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here fresh.
Will I be able to see what you're doing as it's happening?
If you are on the Facebook Live, you can.
About to do that now. I see on face says live. I thought I'm seeing you right now. Technology is some new stuff. I need to get with this because I'm a CPS teacher. So
yeah, this is going to be
get my technology. I see you, but I don't see what you're working on. I see it looks like as if it's on a drafts table below you.
That's it. So right now there's just like a red box.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's something that works.
I can adapt. That's what we do.
That is what we do. I'm going to start. All right. That was
I
magic.
want to see what that looks like.
Can you see it?
No, put it up on the screen. I can't see nothing.
Oh man. Okay. Well, this is the fun part is you get to see. We're gonna have to talk a little bit, but
Wow.
it's all glowing and
Man, jeepers, dude. Like I said, man, I'm just mesmerized by that.
Oh, seriously? You're just messing around? Okay. Well, I remember saying that the one time I was talking to Harrison Bankhead in the entry class, I was like, you walk around with that in your back pocket all the time? He's like, what are you talking about? Bethany.
Man, HB. I love Harrison. Big bass sound. My dad loved Harrison. Man, Harrison Bacon got a nice deep sound. He got a beat every sound. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bethany, that was okay, just as a personal experience, that was magic. I know we were just doing that for
Griffin,
20 minutes, 25 minutes.
I was like, okay.
It was like seconds.
I just love your work, so I'm trying to get in tune,
Oh, it's right back at you. That's what I'm doing. I love your work, and just getting the opportunity to do this. It's just it's
fun, man.
This is glorious
for
me.
I got to do a screenshot right quick.
This is limit.
I got to get the screenshot. Bam.
And this will be a little.
Might get disconnected. No, we didn't.
And I'll, I can make another video of this because this turns out to be a little bit of an animation. We just made a video, basically.
I tried to do that before. Okay. I hope you can see me. I'm back. All right.
You're here.
Man, thank you.
I can hear you.
Hey, Glen Ellyn, happy 51st. More to come. Hope I play there in 2021 since it's 51 right now.
That's right. We'll make it happen. You hear that, Carol White? Fareed?
Man.
Make it do it. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'd love to.
This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Love you, man.
Bethany.
Hopefully I see you Sunday, all right? I'm going to send you a link.
That's great. I'll see you on Sunday.
Right. Tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye. Love you, man.
You're a beautiful person. Thank you.
You are as well. Love. See you and your wife. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm going to stop sharing here for a second, folks. See if I can. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? The virtual 51st annual Festival of the Arts Glen Ellyn just kicked off. We had Bethany Pickens to kick it off. Amazing. Okay, so I'm right back at you here. Hopefully you'll see me in full-fledged screen. Underneath my chin here. So here we are. Up in a few here, we're going to have Jack Gallagher. Jack Gallagher is a compatriot of mine, a collaborator, and we've worked together specifically on this festival. This is my #1 dad mug right there. That's how that works. Jack and I have worked, like I said, I guess 2 years ago for the Festival of the Arts when it was live, and it will be again, with his band Inner Spice. And I guess I could take it down a peg and call it a jam band, a jazz jam band, but I don't think that's taken away from it. It's just these guys could just go for hours. It's one of those, if you're into that sort of thing and you want to sit and enjoy for several hours, Jack could bring it. And I like that. I like that about him. We're all going to get to be together here for probably just short of an hour. But I think it's going to be worth it. And he's going to play trombone. I didn't mention that before. The other bands he's been in, Inner Spice, got Brian Sandstrom, Dushan Mosley. I'm sure I'm going to miss some names. And we'll talk some more when he gets on here about what he's been doing with his valuable time during this slamdemic. I just coined that phrase. It's a pandemic that hit us like a big giant sausage and cheese sandwich out of the sky. sausage and pepper sandwich, just slam, boom, you're done. So I think we've all been hurting. I want to remind everybody that if you like what you're hearing, please go to these musicians' Bandcamp site. We just had on here, this is Bethany's record that I love very much. Man, I'll tell you what, number 9, Doxology, grooving on that for a while. For some reason, Skippy, number 2, is I gotta love that one too. And hope you all, I'm encouraging you all to not only get this, but support Bethany and what she's doing. And of course, we didn't mention it, but we all know who Bethany's father is. And we miss him dearly. We're thinking about you, Willie. A lot. So, again, Jackson, come on here. I'm going to touch base with him. And it should be here in a couple minutes. And I'm going to be, let him know I'm ready. Again, this also feels a little bit like the Instagram thing I do, which is, it's kind of like a 1950s live show, which is fine, which is cool. I've got my tuxedo on tonight, at least my tuxedo coat.
Oh,
Hey, I'm here.
You're outdoing me something awful.
I got to give the peoples what they want, man. You know.
You got to.
And
I give them what they need.
Well, they're going to get what they need, whether they like it or not.
That's my attitude.
Hey, you know, I got to put on the tux here.
Yeah.
I tried to put on the vest, but there's somebody stroked my vest. It doesn't really fit anymore. I don't know what's going on, but Jack, how you been?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. It's been a good day. I've been looking forward to this all day. Just thinking back to past Glen Ellyn festivals.
Right.
It's a little different.
This is a little different. Tell me how long you've been. Do you remember the first one you did? We'll start there.
Let's see. We did 98, 97, 96, 95, 94. Probably 94.
Okay.
I'm thinking 94. Yeah, because one we did with my group. We did one with Dave Gordon Quintet, which is very similar group. That was my quartet when I did that. That was with Chris White, which was kind of cool. But you know, that's Dushan Mosley on the drums on both bands.
Yeah.
That rhythm section of Brian Sandstrom, Dushan Mosley, you know.
Right.
But then we did a couple Interspice ones. Played some of the
most recent one that I remember.
Psychedelia. Yeah, we did a couple of those.
Yeah.
We did a couple of those. And you did some wicked painting of that band.
I hope so.
You like painting Sandstrom. I've noticed this before.
I do. He's got a good head. I repeat that often.
He does.
I enjoy the sculpture of your head, but it's true. You know, if I'm into it, it's like, hey, I know that head. It's for me, it's a grounding thing, you know. But yeah, Brian's got one of those. But it's combined with his sound. You know what I mean? It's you know, Brian's treatment of his instrument, and that goes with you too. There's you know, it's just good to hang out with people that are not only amazing about what they do, but they're also very relaxed and they don't have an ego about, you know, hey, I'm doing a fantastic job, I'm amazing, but it's kind of like your job, you know. It's like you're building houses or you're baking bread, and there's an egoless.
Yes.
Portion of that. And man, do I appreciate that.
What's that?
I just appreciate that so much.
The bacon bread speaks to me because my wife is a great baker, but on this extended vacation we're all taking, I got into baking yeasted bread. It's great. I never really got into that before. I've made a lot of bread. Sidelight.
And that's something you don't hear musicians say very much.
They don't make a lot of bread.
But also makes me want to like break bread with you, even if it's like, you know, we're 6 feet apart. You put it on a little dolly and you wheel it over to me.
Well, I was thinking set up a little train set with some flat cars, and you put the bread on the flat car and just kind of run them forward. You know, either that or HO racers, but you use the old HO slot cars, but you use like trucks. You know, semi trucks, and you put the bread on the semi truck. I got ideas, man. I got some ideas.
I think a bread truck sounds like a band. It sounds like it could be a thing.
Bread truck. What kind of band would that be?
I don't know. I know they would do one record and just be called Taco Truck because they would get that influence. Listen to some Valdez or something like that. Yeah, ideas are just like oscillating.
They're spewing.
If they're out there in the ether for us to grab a hold of, and very much like what I do with music. I think I think of it as a thing that's it's there, it's not tangible, and it's sort of going away, and I'm trying to grab at it like a kid with a balloon that goes away.
Yeah, there's no stuff to it.
Yeah, and then it's just it's the act of trying to grab it that's important. And so I get little bits that I turn into, acrylic paint on canvas, or I turn into digital tonight, and that makes me feel, it's like, okay, this is my purpose. It gives me purpose. This is my superpower. This is the thing that I do that some other people do, but I like to think that maybe nobody does it exactly like me. And I'll take.
I love I love the superpower concept. We all have a superpower. It's not a special thing. We all have superpowers.
You're right. It's not a special thing. Some people, it's like generosity.
Yeah.
But some people, it's like telling people like it is, but doing it with kindness. And some people,
that's a talent.
Cars. Some people, it's painting houses. Or baking bread.
Baking bread. You got to put some love in it, man.
People can taste it if there's no love in it.
Yeah. A little salt too. Don't forget to put salt in.
Salt, right. Now I'm starting to think about bagels, man. I miss good bagels. I know Schmaltz Deli, a little shout out to Schmaltz Deli in Wheaton and Naperville. They do some good bagels.
Okay.
Coming out of New York, it's been hard, man. I get some bagels here locally, and I'm like, that's bread. That's not,
Well, yeah, a lot of them are air bread. When I come back from Dave Gordon's, when we play up there a lot, because he's got a beautiful arrangement for playing. He's got that Steinway. But I come by New York Bagel and Bialy, and I can't, my car goes and parks, and I love Bialy's,
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
You can't buy a bad Bialy. That's all I have to say.
No. Jack, tell me a little bit about playing with Dave Gordon.
Dave and I, this is just mind blowing. I hate to, of course, this tells you how old we are. It's Dave and Brian Gephardt. The three of us put a band together in Boston in 1977. Okay? It was the Bagel of Fun Band. And if I'd been properly prepared, I actually have a vinyl album over there from in 81 when we finally did it. Do you remember Mike Rasfeld, Acme Studio? He recorded it. He was a genius engineer. He passed way too young. But the three of us have been playing together since 77.
Man.
Yeah. And, Gephardt, killer on the sax.
Yeah.
So it's a special thing, and then Dave Gordon Quintet, then you just add Brian, Sandstrom, and Duchamp. So it's an awesome band to play in, It's magical. I mean, Dave and Gep and I don't have to think about merging it together. We've been doing it so long. It's kind of magically automatic,
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And the funny thing was when we first were playing, I was only playing guitar.
Wow.
And then I kind of, something mutated in my brain, and you got it more. You have to keep doing new things. Like you, it's like languages. They always say once you learn your second language, you can learn any language.
Right. Yes.
But you need 2 points of view to see the world. You can't see the world from one point of view. And I can think of many people in this world who need to learn that message from the top down, if I may say. But instruments are the same way. Once you learn a couple of instruments, I started on piano and then started, stole my older brother's guitar. And, then you start playing bass, and then later on I started playing horns. And it was really my son playing trumpet that really hooked me on horns, because we started playing together and we started gigging together. And to gig with my son, awesome.
Oh, man, it's got to be beautiful.
It was great. It was great. I remember one time we did we played in this kind of reggae-ish band, and we were the background horns for that band, just the two of us. Trumpet, and I was playing valve trombone, It's gas.
Yeah. Well, Jack, how do you feel about maybe we'll make some art tonight? We'll make some, whatever we call it. Just.
I would love it.
Like we're doing it, like we're on the lawn, like we're by the lake, and like we're by the, one of those good food stands that's right over there, thinking about like what we're going to eat after we're done this set.
If I remember correctly, it was Hobby's Tacos, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I know.
That was the guy.
I miss so much about being out in the festival. I mean, I even miss sweating. I miss sweating. I can't wear the tuxedo, but it's more like a black V-neck. But I just miss I miss other people sweating too. Is that weird?
I can understand in a sense. It depends on the person,
It's true.
Depends on the social distancing in the person, regardless of a viral environment. But yes, I do know what you mean.
And because we've been together at this festival. Every once in a while there'll be like a kid or like a group of kids who are just like into it, and they're like, "I'm gonna get 5 feet away from this guy playing this horn," and and dancing, and man, I love that.
Yeah, did I do a Braino?
Yeah,
I did on those years we were talking about the festival. Yeah, what is it, 2020, 2018? Whatever I meant, it was like 6 years ago is when I first did it.
Okay.
I think I said funny numbered years. I think I went into another reality there. That's okay.
You were going to the 20th century, and it's been.
I did say that, didn't I?
Right. That's okay.
That's okay. There's a part of me that's always in the 20th century.
I sort of in myself. I live a little bit of my own constructed time machine, most likely made out of bread. That I just bounce around a little bit, and you're like, oh, you remember that thing we did in 18 something, and someone else can be like, yeah, were you there too? Get weird, but.
What is that, Abe Lincoln you're talking to?
Now that you mentioned that, I've got an Abe Lincoln. I got a stovetop hat. I was planning on putting it on. My wife was like, "Oh no, you gotta respect the musicians." It's like, well, yeah, of course I do, but they like to have a good time.
Did you tell her you were doing it with me though? That it didn't matter.
Well, she doesn't know you, so.
Okay.
She thinks all my friends are weird. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, then it's like.
I'm in the same boat.
All right, Jack, let's get serious.
Let's do, I don't know.
I'm going to start with.
Okay. All right, I think I can do this now.
I got my eyebrows
yes.
manicured here. I'm ready to go. For some reason, I'm going to talk like this for the next 5 minutes. I don't know.
I don't want to look like Andy Rooney. That's all it is, to go back in the 20th century again.
Why do my eyebrows keep trying to escape my head and go the back way?
There was that one time when he had them braided into his nose hairs. It was a bit much,
I do miss Andy Rooney. I don't know why. That's weird. We'll start to go down that road. I miss David Bowie.
You know what I don't like? Yeah. Every little chunk. I'll tell you something I don't like.
Okay.
So yeah, what are we gonna do here, my friend?
You know what? I'm going to on my secondary device here. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to go over here and we'll start broadcasting from the second device.
Alrighty.
Which is
high tech, man.
I don't know if this is coming up. You can see this. This is the
Beautiful.
This is the this is Bethany Pickens.
I
This is
thought
off
that
her-
was her. Yeah.
She's incredible. She really
Absolutely, man.
And we're getting to know each other more sonically and visually. And oh man, it just feels right. It feels right. That was one of those things. And you and I are going to do something similar. Does that sound good?
I love it.
All right, man. Let's do it. 51st Annual Festival of the Arts.
Play ball. Yeah, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It starts entrancing me. I'm getting used to looking at that while playing. It's kind of really cool.
I'm channeling some architecture, like abstract architecture for some reason.
I'm jamming with that. I'm jamming with that. You're twisting my brain cells. I started out playing this one tune, and then I took off into I started sight reading your your artwork.
That's right. Sometimes I'll be doing a graphic score without really knowing it.
Little Anthony Braxton there, my friend.
Oh yeah,
Oh
it's in
yeah,
there. It's in there.
they're directions. I just can't tell. I
And
can't tell if I'm doing it right.
and the beautiful thing is, I don't even know that I'm giving directions. I'm channeling, some dead artist or some artist from
Well,
just,
it's it's a back and forth. It's a back and forth. I see where you did what I played.
really.
I think so. You'd be
No,
surprised what I think.
no, seriously. I know that I love hearing that. And oftentimes, and folks, this is a little bit of a sort of an insider hang thing. Oftentimes one of my favorite parts about doing these gigs, these live gigs, is hanging out with musicians before and afterwards, and talking, just having dialogue about what just happened, because
Yeah.
it's a very abstract experience. It's not like, oh yes, we did this, and let's repeat that. It's very much like, I don't know, you were there, I were there, we were doing things. It doesn't sound all that intellectual when the conversation, I'm sure, but the content is that we are experiencing something that's beyond ourselves. We're in a different place, but we all know we were there. And so it's a little bit of like, having a dream, but you're still awake, and you can just have a conversation about it, and you still remember the dream. And
Yeah.
you were somewhere. It's like, I've had these conversations specifically with Avriel Ra, and
Right.
Avriel was talking about, and we're doing like 20 minutes, and afterwards he goes, you know what? We're not going to remember any of this, but that's okay, because
That's okay.
it's
That's
about
right.
it's about and again, like, my emotional connection to what happens is sometimes the most important thing, and that means not just having a good time, but you know are you truly being an artist? Are you creating?
But yes, and we're all. It's pattern interaction. It's that energy interaction, but we're always creating a pattern, and when you do it together, it starts merging and influencing. It's resonance. It's the resonance
It's
of the two.
resonance, and Jack, do you feel sometimes that you're not playing, or that someone else is playing?
I don't live in a analytical head when playing.
Right.
Really. I mean, if I go in an analytical head, I'm not doing it right. There's something where I am it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just the other functions start dropping off. You know, you don't have to think about it. Music's funny because you can do it a number of ways. You know, you can do it where you're sitting there reading a chart, you know, which is cool, but
oh yeah, and very cool. And there's been, you know, let's talk about that. There's plenty of composed pieces that it only works if you're all in concert, literally all in a concert, and that's when the magic happens, and that's when it works. And then there's other things where it's part composition and part improvisation, and then there's some parts where you're talking about, let's get free and easy and get out of the way and make it happen.
Yeah, there's another side. There's a part inside that too, where I've noticed where I've done this a number of times on piano too, but on anything. You learn a song. Say a cool. If you say you learn a song by sound, you learn it off a record, or you learn it, which is really the gut way of learning it. You know.
Right.
And you at first you learn what's there, and then you get away from that and you get it into your bones, right? And then you play it a lot, you play it for a while, and then you come back and you realize, I don't play it. You hear the old thing that you learned it from a year later and you go, I don't play it like that at all. You know, I'm not even kind of saying the same message in a sense. I'm now saying my message, and it just happened to use the pattern of that song.
Right.
Which is really cool.
I've heard stories of, I think it was Greg Ward telling me a story about playing with Fred Anderson. And one of the first times that he was going to play, like, officially, like, okay, let's get you on a gig. And he gave them something to basically play a lot. Like, here, like, let's say, like, do this record. We're going to do this. We're going to do this set of songs. Learn it tight. Here's your job. And they did that. You know, and Greg was like, okay, we learned it. And then when it came time to it, Fred goes, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to do something else. But it was the preparation and the embodiment of whatever he gave you at the time to, you know, do your thing, make your own thing, you know.
Well, you learn how to interact. That's all it is.
Right.
You learn, you know, that's that thing. You learn how to resonate together. We're all like transmitting, receiving things, right? You know, your spine's like an antenna anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we're all doing that. And they got through that by learning that tune. Well, you don't need to do it on that tune the next time. You know, you could play something else. And even if it's a surprise, sometimes it's better if it's a surprise.
Right. And again, we're getting some of these conversations that happen when no one else is there. But oftentimes when I'm painting, I'm feeling like I'm playing like in between the notes, or I'm sort of coloring the silence in a way, or the in between beats, you know, or the sort of like the in between vibrations, and putting my own vibrations in there. That's sort of making me feel like I've made something that's integral to the piece somehow that just happened. Nobody else knows that in some ways except me, but that's how it feels real to me. Then I'll look at the painting afterwards, not as the person who made it, but as a lover of art, and go, oh yeah, oh, I was at that gig. That resonates, you know. Or sometimes it's, well, that's not it. But mostly it's like, oh, I remember that gig. And again, it's my emotional connection to the thing we just did, you know, the Inner Spice gig that was at the festival. And I'll go look at those paintings, which are, you know, in the basement or in the studio down there, and I'll go, man, that was a good gig.
Yes.
It becomes something else. It becomes like storytelling, and here we are talking about it like it was like a thing that we all shared. And it wasn't just us. There was plenty of people there. And then I'm like, I get to be the guy that makes the document of this stuff. And man, I gotta call Jack, you know, one of those. And here we are.
Well, that's one of the beauties of what you do, is that you come out with a physical work of art, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
which is great. And that's one of the reasons why I like to record so much, which,
Yeah.
coming back to one of the first things you said, that's that's one of the best ways to destroy your ego, is to record a lot of gigs and listen to yourself on all those gigs and go, yeah. But sometimes there'll be a gig like what we did, and you listen to it back and say, man, that was smoking, you know, that was really going. So it can be both. It's incredibly educational, but you don't come out of it thinking you're so wonderful. You know, you don't
No.
come out of it thinking you're a genius.
No.
You think you especially me, you know, I think, God, I need to work on that, you know, or oh man, that tone quality. Let's work on that a little bit, you know.
Right. And I often will find I'll go like, oh man, I'm just Mr. Derivative over here. I'm like repeating myself, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like, you know, that's also the mood. And then someone, you know, I'll often do a piece and I'll think it's kind of a throwaway. You know, it felt right. It's genuine.
Right.
It's true. And I'll
I
put
know.
it to the side. And then somebody will come in the studio and be like, that's the one. That's the one.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm glad you came because I was about to repaint over that sucker.
Yes.
That's why it's, that's the,
I get the same thing. It's the same thing. You know, I write a lot of material, you know, I in all the worlds, right? I write a lot of jazz stuff. I wrote all that interspice rock stuff.
yeah.
I've written tunes that I thought were just kind of junkers, you know. One in particular, back in the Deadbeats days in the 90s, 80s and 90s, I wrote this one tune that it was total, like you say, a throwaway. I wrote it as a joke for my daughter, or my sister, sorry. I didn't have a daughter yet in the 80s. And that tune, other people have covered it, you know, fans loved it. I was thought, this is a ridiculous tune, you know. But if it brings joy, I mean, you know, yeah, I'll play that tune. What the hell, you know?
Yeah.
But it was simple and it was good to dance to, you know. So how can you beat that?
Yeah, I like. I guess I was talking to Roscoe Mitchell not too long ago.
Yeah, love that guy.
The conversation came up about, it was almost about like ownership of what you do, and knowing that it's not really yours. And maybe this is me interjecting into the conversation, but it was really about, you know, even a guy that does what he does, and as incredible it is, at the same time he knows that it's free of him, and that it exists beyond him, before him, and this has nothing to do with him, and he's a conduit. You know, he gets to be there. You know,
conduit of the spirit.
And you know, I think there should be pride of ownership, because, you know, it's something that's connected to you, because you put your personality into what you do, because you have to sort of answer for that. And if you're a total jerk, then I'm sure that comes out in your artwork sometimes. Every once in a while, I'll look at a Picasso and be like, yeah, that guy, I love stuff, but I could tell you were, I don't know, but that's just personal.
You had issues, Pablo. You got issues.
You know, but you got to own what you do, but also knowing that it has so very little to do with you, in terms of where it's coming from, and the end product. You know, you should just have to be cool and just be cool, and let it happen, and I don't know, and be aware that, like, once you do it, you don't own it. You might sign these things, and you might have, you know, you have a record that has your stuff on it, and yes, and I'm not, and I don't want to, you know, get in the conversation about negating intellectual property and owning what they do, because I think that's very important, because that's connected to the business. But in a very simple way of how you continue to make work, it's good to know that it's not yours.
Yeah, you know, and it really talks to the world we live in right now, using the internet, using all this stuff. It's really funny to put out music now. And for instance, when I put out this jazz album some years ago, in no time at all, some guy in Portugal was pirating it, making identical copies of the CD and selling it through Europe. And I found, like, and he had a page in Italian, he had a page in German. He's selling more of them than me, you know. it's so weird, you know, and music is almost totally devalued in a sense. And, you know, someone can take digital shots of your art and it's just, it can be all over the place. And it's kind of like,
yeah, yeah.
there's a different, I don't know what model we're on, but I don't know what model we could go to, but the model we're on doesn't actually match the world we live in.
Yeah, you're right. You're
You
right.
know?
And that's an important point. We're talking about, you know, doing what you love and basically what you have to do and what you're good at, and making a living at it, and continuing when, you know, I'm talking about someone stealing your stuff. That's just not right. You know, and you gotta do something about it. But, you know, it's just not easy being an artist. I hate to whine about it, but
Right, right.
It's
I'm kind of resigned to it. It's just like, well, I know I'm going to keep doing this anyway. It's a, I don't know if that's a fatalism, but it's kind of like, I'm going to keep doing this. And I don't know about the money thing. I don't know how that works out. Nobody's got any gigs now. I mean, it's like, you know, it even became more so. Music is so weird now. You can hardly play music with anyone now, you know?
right.
So.
And who knows what's going to happen? We're simply, it's still up in the air, you know, and the essential things like, you know, are the kids going to get educated this year? Like, how's that going to happen? You know, you can't tell, you know, try to tell a bunch of kindergartners and preschoolers, stay 6 feet away from your friends, you know.
Right.
And more importantly, this was, you know, Cindy and I were talking about this the other day, about this sort of comes up every day, really, in terms of the educational system. It's like, okay, I get it. If you've got to do it virtually and you got to be at home, you need a strong internet connection and you need a device.
Right.
Not everybody has that, you know?
That's right. That's right.
Like, all of a sudden, this is like a basic right of like, okay, whose job is it to provide this stuff? Well, if you go to public school, it's the school's job. You know what I mean?
But everything becomes the school's job. The problem is a hyper-competitive model doesn't work in the world we live in. We need more. We need to cooperate with things and work together to make things available to everybody.
Right.
And that's, you know, and you see that battle in our society more than ever, where we're almost in a predatory hyper competitiveness, you know, and it's not working. You know, we have to got to put some love in it, baby. We got to include everybody.
Right.
Include everybody.
And that comes from, you know, not really sort of, you know, socialists and, you know, capitalist stuff. We can get into that if we want to, but it's more about if
we haven't used those words.
Okay, forget that. Script. I'll take that out.
Don't say those words.
We're talking about if you're living your life with compassion for others, which is, you say, like, you know, put the love in there, baby. That's, you know, then it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, how else are you gonna do it? You're like, well, the model here is, you know, stomp on your fellow man and woman, you know, snuff them out and get ahead. Like, well, is that working? No, it's not working.
No, it's not working.
Unless you want to have wars.
I don't.
And who does? I don't know.
There's no more empty space. We got to get along.
No, we got to get along, I think. And everybody has to stop being miserable. And everybody has got to be cool. I think, I think there's a bit of a psychic battle going on nowadays because of this pandemic, where, you know, people are isolated, and that's sort of like that worst part of themselves that they've been trying to keep away from everything else is sort of like going, now it's my time. You know, it's like a Pandora's box thing, you know, where.
Yeah, your shadow is 3 times the size it usually is.
Yeah, and it's that, you know, now's the time where, you know, we really got to pay attention to the mental illness that's in our culture. We got to really pay attention to, well, and as artists, Jack, we got to pay attention to what the future holds and what it's going to be, because we have a lot of control, or we're kind of responsible for the legacy of this time. I like to think that we know that we're in a depression state. We're in a, you know, a time when there's going to be more poverty. There's going to be more displaced people. There's going to be more, you know, more poor, less middle class. And there's going to be people that are, you know, keeping the scraps to themselves. And like, okay, well, what are we as creatives going to do about that? What can we do about it? It's like, well, art is the thing that speaks and lasts. And I just mean that from a standpoint of, a Rembrandt is still a Rembrandt now, and it was when he did it. It still speaks the same way. I don't know what I'm getting at here. I sort of like my train.
All right.
Getting
I was
away.
digging it. You're on a roll.
You know what I mean? It's
like telling Belushi, you're on a roll. Keep growing. Keep going.
Okay, roll. Let's go. Eggs and peppers and steak. So, this is, what we do now is going to determine how the country is and the world is coming up. So,
well, let's do some.
Let's do some. That's exactly it. Let's change the world a little bit. I'm going to start.
Let's go around again, because the stuff that we do is actually going to inform the future.
Let's do it. That's exactly right.
I didn't tell you, I'm not even playing the valve bone. I'm playing the bass trumpet. There's an instrument you don't see much, right?
Wow.
Watch out. I may pull out the euphonium before we're done. It sits right here.
I'm not afraid.
Okay.
I'm down.
Black and white.
Yeah, wow. We're getting into portraiture now.
I love it. It's noir, baby.
Into a sound portrait. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for joining us for this portion of the 51st Annual Festival of the Arts, close to Glen Ellyn. My guest here for the last hour has been my friend, Jack Gallagher. Jack, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and that little piece of soul that I just want to thank you for being here and doing this. Just
I loved it.
being my friend for an hour.
It's a beautiful thing. It's
It,
beautiful.
it is, isn't it?
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself. I'd go another 2 hours. I'll tell you. I know you got somebody after me.
Well, they're probably going to join in here too. I don't know if you know Sam, Samuel Mushing. He's a guitarist.
Okay.
And,
Okay. I have not met him, but I'm sure he's a fine guitarist.
he is. He is. Actually, if we just wait a little while, he'll pop on here and you can say,
Cool. I will. That'll be nice.
I'm going to unshare this guy.
Okay.
And we'll go back to the two of us on screen.
Go
Yeah,
to rap mode.
rap mode.
This is the second half century of this festival.
Yes.
This is an auspicious beginning.
Right.
There he is.
Right. Here's the next 50 years are going to determine how this goes. Samuel, how are you?
Okay, let me see. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
We're here and we're live.
Sam. Good to meet you, Sam.
Really nice meeting you, and really beautiful set, Jack. Wonderful, you guys. It was a lot of fun watching you guys. It's great.
Thank you very much.
This is starting to feel like an actual hang now. You know.
I know. We got a thing going here. We got a little. It's a salon. It's an electric salon.
That's right.
So,
thank you for joining us at the top of the hour here, 9 p.m. This is the 51st Annual Festival of the Arts, Glen Ellyn. Thank you, Downtown Glen Ellyn. Thank you, Carol White. And for the next hour, the next half hour, we have Samuel Mushing. Am I saying your name right, Sam? Is that okay?
yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Omlaut. That's like merge, basically.
That's right. I've got the Deutschland blood in me and the Schweiz blood in me, so I can bring that.
It sounded good to my Irish ears. So. All right, guys. I should probably let you go and do your thing. You got a half hour, so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jack.
Did I roll? You could start playing. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot, Lou. It was fantastic.
You got it, brother.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, Samuel and I have had the pleasure of working together a number of times, more times than I can really think of, here in Chicago and actually in West Chicago not too long ago.
That's right.
Samuel's got some great recordings out there. You're on the Bandcamp, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would encourage everybody, if you like what you hear, please support these artists, and in particular this one right here. He's fantastic. Samuel, anything you wanna say before you start?
No, I'm just glad to be part of it. Live here from Bronzeville, coming.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have my external mic, so it sounds a little bit better. But then I can't hear you anymore. So just wave if it doesn't work and you can't hear anything. Okay?
I will. Don't worry. You'll see me doing this.
And then I'll just get started. You have another guest right at 9:30, or?
No, this is you're the last guest on here.
Okay, all right, just for me to know. Cool.
Yeah. So do what you want. And
great.
How's your wife? Your lady?
Monica's doing great. Yeah, she's in the room next door. She's reading a little bit, and hearing the set, obviously.
Right. I've got one of those too. She's over there. Great, Samuel. I want to say again, thank you so much for saying yes, especially putting together this thing at the last minute. And here's what's going to happen here. I'm going to share. I'm going to start broadcasting the second thing. What you're going to see from me, and what the rest of the world's going to see, is a blank canvas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and you know the score.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so this is going to be us. And Samuel, take it away.
All right, let me plug this mic in here real quick without doing any too much damage here.
I'm going to get a little bit of water as we're going here.
So, just checking in. Did that work all sound-wise?
Yes, I can hear it.
Okay, good. All right, all right. I was just wanted to make sure. All right, great. I'll keep going. That was just a sound check.
I'm making sure that the live feed here is showing some stuff.
All right.
Lori Mancini says embrace.
About to get started.
Um,
I can't hear you anymore right now. Just
okay.
that's what the mic does. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Wait, let me turn this down. Okay, let me see those pictures.
Where's that guy? That's
All right. Let me make this bigger here. Oh yeah. Oh wow. It's like kind of like a red panther. I love it.
Yeah, this is well, here, let me do this little trick for you. It does a oh.
Oh yeah. I remember that one too. Oh, okay. The time lapse.
Found two different portraits in there, and the fun part of that is, separate from what we just did right now, I can take that animation there, or that, combine it with your live playing, and it's a second whole thing. It's a different,
Amazing.
it's,
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, I love it.
It's one of the fun parts about that,
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like an instant music video.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a better music video. Yeah, it's because it's improvised. Who can improvise a music video?
That's right. But it's got this sort of like the finished, polished production value,
Yeah.
Right. Samuel, I think what we're all craving here is personal interaction, fellowship, and of course, being in the same room with somebody playing. And I hope we get to do that soon.
Oh,
I hope
sure.
everybody does what they're supposed to do and wear your mask, even if someone else that you love tells you not to wear one. Just wear the stupid thing so that we can get back to what we love to do, which is what Samuel loves to do, is like play in front of large crowds that are doing everything they're going to do and hugging each other and loving each other and screaming and hollering and or sitting quietly, whatever the set might ask for. And I hope we get to do that soon, Samuel, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same. It's a timeout. You know, I've been doing all music with myself, so it's crazy. I mean, the Sofa Concerta is one thing which I do every Saturday, that are just, you know, more and more also just new originals, and just I'm writing, and I'm just making it all for myself, which is very interesting. Today, for the first time, I also played bass in the loop station and everything, so I'm just, you know, more and more just going into my own music, and it kind of throws me back to like, oh, wow, because I am from the countryside of Switzerland, and this village is far away from any other jazz musician, really. So I just did, I just did it myself. I kind of grew up like that for a long time. There wasn't a scene around too much, especially in my like earlier teen years. It was just me. And it kind of throws me back to that, and it makes me compose more. But of course, at some point we have to unleash it, and you know, bring it to people, which this year is probably going to be like 1 or 2 trio gigs that we're actually going to do streamed, that are like properly set up and everything with sound.
Yes.
And that's going to be it. But I mean, the focus is completely different. I love it, and obviously I struggle like everybody.
Yes. I think, again, remind folks what day and what time you're doing your Sofa sessions.
So yeah, the Sofa Concert is on my Facebook page. So that's facebook.com/Samuel Mushing, and it's every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time.
That's good. I'm glad. Yeah, I've tuned in, and folks, you'll thank Samuel. You'll thank me for it, because it just sit down and get something to eat, sit with somebody you love, and just listen. It's just like being there. Samuel, I think I think you're going to have, I'm getting this feeling that you're going to have something with you the next time we're all allowed to get together, meaning you've been working on what you've been working on. So you'll have a beautiful arsenal of new music, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm working on it, certainly, and I can't wait. But again, gotta be patient. But yeah, it's so wonderful that we can do that stuff, and keep it too as a memory. You know, all these streams and what you're doing right now is not lost. A lot of people can just, you know, tune in. It's almost like, you know, YouTube is already, a lot of people are on YouTube. You know, millions of people, billions of people just checking out videos. Now it's starting to get this collection of live concerts that you can watch after the fact, and I think that might get a thing at some point, that people just be like, hey, Saturday night, do you want to watch that concert?
Yes. I think eventually, yeah, we'll get together, and we'll sit and we'll do the streaming, and we're also going to remember, like, oh, do you remember that time when, you know, we were all like watching at the same time? It gives you a similar feeling to being together. But I also think that there's part of this that's not going to go away. I mean, people are almost going to expect, I hope people don't get lazy, you know, and go like, yeah, I know it's live right over there, but can you just stream it into I don't really want to get dressed. I just want to sit here in my pajamas. Can you stream it for me? That might be part of what people expect a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that has a positive and a negative to it. But more importantly, I think we're really going to appreciate being together and seeing each other. And there's there's nothing like being in the room with live music.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not just coming to you from the screen. It's back here, you know, and it's bouncing off the people that you're with, And then you mix that up with the vibration of that, you mix that up with the emotions of being together in the same room, and it becomes another form of art that is, there's nothing else like it. Samuel, I want to thank you so much for being part of the 51st annual Festival of the Arts in Glen Ellyn. I'm not sure if you've been a part of this before.
I have not.
Oh,
but
well,
I'm so glad to be involved, part of it. Thank you so much for having me.
oh, yeah. Hopefully when we get back to the live stuff, we can have you in Glen Ellyn, and we can jam some more.
Oh, definitely, yes. Yeah, glad. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Samuel, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude tonight's version of the Festival of the Arts. Join us tomorrow night. We're going to have at 8 p.m. Alicia Monique, who's going to sing and play a little bit for us. And then we're going to have the magnificent Scott Hesse. He's going to be on at 9 o'clock. And that'll be the second night of this festival. Samuel, again, thank you so much. And
thank you.
I'll see you on the post-production video, and we'll have a good time.
Okay. All right, great.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.